Hey guys, welcome back to Back in Diapers. I know I've been away for a while, but life has been a bit crazy. So, few things. Sorry my voice is all funky. I've been in the hospital with a bit of a cold lately, um, and stuff like that. So, I wanted to kind of talk about my incontinence. I've gotten a lot of questions about why I'm incontinent, what level of incontinence I have, and just some other things about it. So I thought I would start with a little bit of a history, and hopefully this camera calms down. I don't know why it's going in and out, but maybe I can fix that. Anyway, so I've been incontinent since about 2011, I want to say. Before that, since 2005, I've had some issues with incontinence. I had a surgery in 2005 where they had to take out my colon, and due to a genetic condition, and so that I got an infection from that, and that started a series of surgeries that I had to have over the next 5-6 years. And I wasn't having incontinence issues at first because I actually had one of those external bags they call an ileostomy. So I actually wasn't hooked up with my bowel that way, but I still had bladder function. And I didn't really have incontinence issues after the first couple of surgeries. It was just, no problems. And it was probably after the third or fourth surgery, I forget, when I finally got reconnected from my bowel that I started having not only nighttime bowel accidents, but also I was wetting. And anytime I'd get sick, I'd pretty much have no control of either one. So I was kind of in diapers on and off for several years. What if I was sick at all, like even a cold could have triggered it or something like that. So I kind of spent a lot of time in the diapers, but it was usually a quick turnaround. I'd usually wet and mess myself at night for about a week or two after I was sick. So I'd spend like 2 weeks at a time in diapers. But that was, I'd have times where I'd have months on end where I wouldn't have to wear a diaper at all. So it was just very sporadic. And then in 2011, I want to say it was like April-ish, I'd been having some wetting, like I've been wetting the bed a little more often. I wasn't always wearing diapers to bed, and I'd wake up with a soaked bed. Thank God I had a hospital bed, so I didn't have to deal with ruining the mattress and all that. But one day I was with my best friend, had come over to visit me for the day and was spending the night with me. And when I was in the kitchen making dinner, and I just totally wet my pants. That was the start of it. That was my last time ever wearing underwear, in fact. But I think I've kind of told that story before a little bit on my blog. I'm not totally sure. I can't remember very well right now. But that was, that was it. Totally. I was wetting the bed every night, wetting my pants all the time. I'd try to go without a diaper sometimes, and then I'd end up, wetting anyway. And it was just never fun. And it took me a long time to really get used to it. I wasn't messing myself consistently at that time. I was, kind of sporadic. If I ate something wrong or whatever, I'd have an accident. And even now, I don't always mess my diaper. It depends on diet and how tired I am, how I'm feeling, all that different stuff. But a little more on that later. So just in general, I had a lot of transition into it was hard. And I had to figure out what diaper worked the best. I had to figure out what I could afford or what insurance would cover at the time. And I had to, rely on my family a lot for like purchasing the diapers and stuff. And it was totally, totally embarrassing. Even when I was working, I had to have diapers. So I would always make a point of going to get my diapers after I finished a shift at work when I was in my scrubs and everything. And I was just like, oh, here's a nurse buying diapers or something like that. It just made me feel a little bit better about it. Now I don't really care. But back then it was just a point of embarrassment for me, as it is for so many people. But I guess with me, I've kind of given into it now. We're coming up on like 3 years or something. And every now and then I do still try to go without a diaper for a little while. And I always end up making a mess somewhere, either on the floor, in my chair, or something like that. But I've just resigned myself to it. Even in this last couple of weeks, I've really had to resign myself to the fact that diapers are totally a part of my life, and in more ways than I thought they were going to be. You know, I've been in the hospital all week, and I couldn't walk very well because my legs kind of act up when I get sick, and they get really weak, and it's hard to get up and move around by myself especially, so I wouldn't get to the bathroom in time for anything. And I also was too weak to do my own changes, so I had to completely rely on somebody else to do them. And I have the world's most wonderful boyfriend who was there with me by my side every day, and he just took complete control of the changing. And he was he wouldn't even let the nurses do it a bit because he knows how terrible nurses are at changing diapers. And a little story on that in a little while. But so he just completely took control of it and told me, don't worry about trying to make it. Don't worry about changing it. Don't worry about anything. He's like, I want you to rest. And if it happens, it happens. If you happen to think you can make it, sure. But he's like, I don't want you to worry. Don't even want you really getting up without, or to go to the bathroom, because I can't get up by myself. And even the nurses were like, don't you dare get out of bed on your own. So that was that. And it was really kind of rough for me a bit. I just hate being helpless, and that's really a point with me when I have to rely on other people to change my diaper, of all things. I just get really frustrated, and I was really upset. So he was there to calm me down and to reassure me through the whole thing. And he kept telling me, I totally don't mind that I have to change your diaper at all. He's like, it's a little intimate thing for us. I enjoy being able to care for you in that way. So that was really cool, and I haven't had someone support me through a medical issue like that in a long time. And it was just so wonderful to have him there the whole time. Funny story about that and about an accident I had was, I think it was the second night I was there. He was just exhausted. He had ended up going into work that day. He didn't want to work at all while I was in the hospital, but he had to work one day. So he was up at, I think he had to leave the hospital at like 5:30 or something like that. And so he told me when we went to bed, wake me up if you go, and I'll change you and everything. So I woke up in the middle of the night, realized I had messed myself, and I tried to wake him up, and he is just so hard to wake up. Even when he does kind of wake up, he doesn't remember. Even though he can have like a completely normal conversation, he's not actually awake. So anyway, I tried to wake him up and everything, and he talked to me for a minute, and then he said, he told me, you can if you don't mind, can you get the nurse to change you tonight, because I'm really, really exhausted. So I said, sure. I didn't mind. I knew he was tired, and I didn't want to be a burden to him while he's trying to sleep. And so I called the nurse in. And she came in and cleaned me up and changed my diaper, changed all my bedding and everything. And the next morning when he got up, he wanted to do my morning change instead of the nurse or something. And he was furious when he opened up that diaper. The nurse hadn't even cleaned up half my back end. There was still poop everywhere. You could just smell it, even though I hadn't gone again. It just was horrible. She hadn't even taped the diaper up right, so it had chafed on my leg, and I had diaper rash like mad already, and he was just so furious, and it was hilarious. But you know, he's always, he just does it so cheerfully, and I don't know how he can be so cheerful about changing a poopy diaper, but he is. He has been awesome, and I couldn't ask for a better partner in this. But, you know, so kind of, I don't know. He's just so cool. But, you know, right now my incontinence is at a standstill as far as, like, any diagnosing it or anything. I've given up on that, really. I had a lot of testing done. I had a cystoscopy, urodynamic testing, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. But all of it came to the conclusion that there's no more nerve activity in my bladder. I can't feel that I'm going. I can't feel that my bladder's filling up. I only feel that I'm going once it's outside of my body. And same thing is kind of with the bowel. I don't have the muscles to always control it. And depending on the consistency of it, I don't feel it until I don't feel it at all, and I'll just smell it. So it's really annoying. Thank God I haven't had any really embarrassing situations with it. But yeah. So I'm going to probably cut this video out so I'm not like over time. And I might record another one or something. But I just thought I'd give you guys all an update on how things are going. And as you can see, we're in our own apartment now. Thank God. We just got our place back in the beginning of May, and we love it. It's so nice to have just the two of us in our house now instead of all the animals and all the parents and all that stuff. So it's just really nice to finally be just the two of us together. Now if we can just get our act together and me stay healthy, we'll be doing great. But more updates later. Got some videos planned, and so I will see you guys all next time.